Hey, welcome back to Wieczorek Farms. I'm Kayla, the voice and founder behind Chronicles of a Farmer's Wife. Today, this video is going to be a little bit different than our normal setup. I tag teamed with Suzanne with WT Farm Girl, and we have been talking hay nutrition over the last few weeks back and forth with each other. She's already released her video. She dropped it yesterday. This is my take 2. I worked all last week on videoing and typing and writing and getting all these hay facts lined out for you guys, and then it crashed. Needless to say, this is take 2, and I'm hoping it's going to be even better than take 1. So if you read some of my blogs, I posted this morning the correlated blog post that goes with this video on hay nutrition for your livestock. Get my notes all out here. She released her video, and I'm going to release mine, and they kind of coincide with each other. She talked more about the hay nutrition overall for equine, and I'm going to talk hay nutrition for livestock in general, and how we handle that here at the farm, how we produce our hay, how we sell our hay, and how our hay stays in the consistent state that it is. Hay forage can be the main diet for many animals. It's not just cattle needs and equine needs. Your rabbits, your small animals, they all need stuff too. And that makes a huge part of the hay community. Sheep need different things than the cattle do, and the cattle need different nutrients than horses do. So I'm going to touch base more on the types of quality produced here on the farm. Jason has been doing hay since 2007. Each year the quality just gets better and better. Consistency is key for our business. With that being said, how do we get there? How do we keep getting better? How do we keep being consistent in our hay needs? Hay nutrition, understanding your hay needs, the quality of what you're feeding, and so much more. There's more than just setting out a bale of hay for your favorite horse or setting out hay for your cattle. There's a lot of different aspects that make up hay. My first hay tip from right off: know who your producer is. Know firsthand who you're dealing with. Ask questions, get references. How does their hay get baled? So is it preserved? Is it wet wrapped? Is it net wrapped? Is it string tied? Or is it wire tied? There's a lot of key components when baling hay. Another thing, where is it stored? Is it stored under roof, under tarp? Is it left open? Is it on a trailer? Where is it stored at? Next thing, are they willing to provide the quality year in, year out? So what that means is, do we have the same type of quality from last year to this year? Well, a lot of that depends on the weather, but it also takes a part on whether or not the grass is being fertilized. Are they putting nutrients back in after they take the nutrients off the land? That's very important. Do they have a customer relationship? Will they back their hay quality? Are they consistent in prices even through drought weather? Okay, so that's one thing Jason really prides himself on, is not just the consistency and the quality, but that guarantee, that customer guarantee. So if you're not happy and you find a bale in the grab that's moldy, hold it, bring it back to us, and we will replace it. That's our customer quality insurance. We cannot build a relationship with our clients if we are selling bad hay. Next tip. Okay, so tip number 2, know your hay cuts. there are many different types of hay that can be baled. You have your wet hay, you have your dry hay, you have your hay that's preserved, you have your alfalfa, you have your mixed grass, you have orchard grass, mixed grass, which can be a Timothy orchard or brome here from Wieczorek Farms. You have a mixed alfalfa, you can do even ryegrass or Suzanne grass. So there's many different aspects. So know your hay cuts. And by that I mean the numerical order of the hay harvested each year. So we have first and second cut grass, and then anywhere between 1 and 4th cut alfalfa, or sometimes we get a 5th cut depending on how we have in this year with the rain and the sun and the weather. The key part is weather for us. Each year the cuts differ from when they start. So typically we start haying in May, in early June for our first cut of grass, and then that second cut is usually 6 to 8 weeks after. So if we hay, in the 1st of June, you're looking at 8 weeks from that. So you're looking at like mid-August, September for a second cut. Sometimes we only get one cut. This year was one of those years. We had a lot of hay, we had a lot of weather, we had a lot of rain, so our grasses grew longer. So we have some fields that only got one cut because we ran out of season to do a second cut. Alfalfa can have 4 to 5 cuts, which has different quality in each cut. Second and third cut is typically finer, less stemmier, and more lush than the first cut. I typically will hold on to first cut for our own selves. We do sell that, but first cut is my choice because it is a little bit less what the clients are looking for. Okay, so how do you know which cut is right for your livestock? Early cut hay versus later cut hay. Early cut hay is harvested in the earlier or immature stage of growth right before flowers are emerging. So like on alfalfa, we talk about the bloom. So we would be cutting alfalfa at the bloom or right before it blooms out. So when we talk second, later cut hay, so like more later in the year, it's harvested at a more advanced stage of growth. It can be more coarse, stemmy. It's definitely higher in fiber content, but lower in the protein. So that's typically what we feed cattle. The higher fiber, lower protein, because you can mix with a TMR ration like we did with our corn in the mixer. We put lower quality hay, less protein, higher fiber, more coarse, stemmy, stuff that they wouldn't really choose to eat if we didn't mix it. We sell majority of the best quality. That would be your high protein, good fiber content, less stemmy, very fine textured, very palatable for whether it's your horses, your sheep, or your cattle needs. Climbed the stack to help Jason get a few bales down, but I thought I would give you an overlook of how the barn looks. This one is 3/4 still full. Each bay, and I call it bay, so like this row would be one bay, holds 960 bale. So that's 11 stacks high. I'm going to talk more this week about the nutrition of our hay and hay sampling and our quality of hay, because it is very important. We sell 80% of our hay to horse equine people, and it is the quality of our hay has to be very, very good and consistent. If you don't have consistency in your hay, you're going to lose your hay clients, and that's not what we want because it's our sole business. So this week we are going to touch base more, even though it's kind of out of season to talk about hay, but in the same time it's not, because we sell a majority of our hay in this type of weather. When it's cool and wintry and damp, that's when everybody starts stockpiling, and that's what Jason is doing, shipping out loads this week. So another good tip that Jason is adamant about, especially if you have the barn space to do it, knowing how to stack your hay is important. In our barns that we have back here, and I've showed it many times on the other videos, and I will drop slides in so you guys can see how we do this. Our barns are designed for Jason to be able to stick 15 hay bales, so that's a grab, with our tie grabber system. Sticks 15 a set of 15, and then go 11 high with those stacks. And to go across, we have 960 bales. To do that, we have to be on edge. That means the strings are on their side. This also allows the hay to breathe, so it's less molding. It also gives it time to go through a sweat. All hay goes through this sweat period. Jason can explain that a little bit better than I can talking about it. Hey, do you have time to talk a few minutes or not? Okay, well, so what I have is we have our bales under roof. We place the bales in the barn on edge. Placing bales on their sides, non-string side, will allow bales to breathe and allow for airflow, decreasing possible mold during their sweat. And I talk about each barn holds 6,720 small squares. That's 960 per bay, 11 stacks high.
Okay, well, I mean, like, so when you bale hay, I mean, usually it's about 90 degrees outside. After you bale it, the bales still have moisture in the hay, so sometimes your hay can get up to 100 to 110 degrees. If you baled your hay too wet, then it will increase over that. It'll be like 130 all the way up to, it could be 150, 160. If it's that hot, you better call the fire department.
Because it'll burn.
Yeah, it'll burn. It's combustion.
Okay.
So you just, that's why you want to make sure your hay is, it could be between 13 and 16%, but probably not any more than that.
So what do you we bale hay at what percent moisture?
But like sometimes we put 1,000 bales in a stack, and if you get up on top of the stack, you'll actually see the moisture coming through.
Steam.
You'll see the steam, especially in a hot day and you're baling, and then you come to a cool morning, you can actually kind of see the steam coming off of it.
Okay.
The moisture be coming out.
I talked about the early versus later cuts in the hay, stemmy versus non-stemmy. Do you have anything else to say?
The only thing is about, well, because we're around Missouri here, so it's pretty well native, but yeah, I mean, your first cut might be a little more stemmier, but like we've had some clients this year that said, oh yeah, we want second cut, but then then it's got foxtail too, so it just kind of depends on what you want. And like with a lot of horses, it's not the giant foxtail that is the problem, it's the little foxtail with horses.
Evaluate your hay, color, aroma, leaf to stem, and stage of maturity when cut. Like ours stay green. Like our bales stay green. They don't turn brown.
On alfalfa, we try to cut within 28 to 30 days, maybe 32, but not anymore if we can keep from it. But we cut before a bloom, so if you can cut before the bloom, before you even see any blooms, you're going to have a lot more leaf retention.
Okay. What about the protein value?
Your protein value will be higher too if there's no blooms versus a full bloom. Because you're going to have more leaves on your stem. You're going to retent more leaves.
Can you talk about the difference between your brome and Timothy and orchard mix versus alfalfa?
It's just a higher quality grass than what fescue would be. I mean, yeah, you're going to have a lot more protein in your alfalfa, but your grass won't be that high. Alfalfa could be somewhere around 20%, but your grass might only be 13, 14, 10, somewhere in there.
Okay, can you also talk about the sugar differences between the alfalfa and the mixed grass?
I do know one thing. If you, to have a higher sugar content in your hay, 1 and 5 in the afternoon, that way it's a lot greater.
So I hope you guys got something out of my hay nutrition chat with Jason. If you guys have more additional questions, please comment below. Jason and I will love to discuss them more, especially on a live. He likes doing those a lot better when you guys pop him questions and then he can kind of respond right then, versus me trying to stage a video. So I really hope you guys got something. Hay is our #1 business. We bale a lot. In 2019, we put up 40,000 small squares. In 2020, we put right at a little over 28,000 just between Jason and I. Hay is our thing. Jason's niche. He's very good at it. He's been doing it since 2007. And I learn more and more each and every year that I do it. If you guys like today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. We really appreciate that. Our channel is growing. It's small. It's just starting to take off, but we really do love sharing the ag world with you guys, especially taking you on a day-to-day basis and sharing our passions with you. Please also see the notes below. If you have further questions, you can email me, comment below. Read the blog. It's got a little bit more information regarding breakdown of the hay business itself. Thanks for tagging along, and we'll see you guys later this week.